I may be retired from the Navy, but I'm not gay, and these are not my nerfs. President-elect Donald Trump nominated Pam Bondi for U.S. Attorney General in November of 2024, following the withdrawal of his initial nominee, former Representative Matt Gaetz. Bondi's selection is attributed to her extensive legal and political experience in Florida as Florida's Attorney General from 2011 to 2019, where she focused on a lot of hot topic items. You know, the human transporting, opioid abuse. And her nomination has raised a lot of concerns because of her potential conflict of interest due to previous lobbying activities for foreign governments, and also her stance on red flag gun laws and her opinion on how to keep America safe, how to come in and, Baker Act you and take your pew-pews, infringe on your Second Amendment. And that's where a lot of people are getting hung up on Pam Bondi. And you can see behind me my collection of my Nerfs that I've been collecting for years, and they're never going to take them. They will pry those from my cold, dead hands. Let's jump right in and show you exactly what has stirred up the conflict and the controversy with Pam Bondi.
We are going to bring in something called the Gun Violence Restraining Order. So if someone is civilly committed, typically you can hold them for up to 72 hours, but people are getting out within 24 hours, the majority of them. So what we want to do is let law enforcement come in and take the guns.
Good.
They're a danger to themselves.
Which you can't
or
do
others.
right now.
Well, because without being adjudicated. So because they're a danger.
So without the law, they just can't come in and take them right now without the law. Donald Trump picked Pam Bondi. I don't know if this is a good pick or not. Love to know what your thoughts are on this. Leave a comment down below.
You want them to take the guns and not go through 6 months of legal trials and everything
exactly
else.
But we also have to give the mentally ill the due process in which they deserve, President. So what we're doing is they're going to be able to take the guns when they're taken into custody or into the hospital, and then when they're released within 24 hours or 72 hours later, typically it's 24 hours, but law enforcement will have 72 hours to determine whether they should give those guns back, or they can go to a judge and say, Your Honor, please keep these guns. We feel this person is still a danger to himself or others, whether
so
they're
this
in
would
or out
not
of
have
custody.
worked the way it's currently constituted. This would not have worked with Cruz as it's currently constituted.
As it's currently written.
So you're going to make changes?
We're going to make changes. And one other thing we're doing about the reporting, President, which is huge, this is a big issue. We need a clearinghouse, and that's what we've all been discussing. And we have created, and several of my counterparts have done it around the country, but we're the biggest state doing it. It's an app, because kids now are on social media.
All on social media. Ban TikTok while you're at it, right? I mean, it's so dangerous. TikTok. Everybody's getting hurt from TikTok. I've had many people reach out to me and ask me, what are my thoughts on Pam Bondi? Number one, she's an attorney general. She is to enforce the law. As an attorney general, she does not create laws, but she can influence the laws. The people that create these laws are the elected officials that you vote for. The Chip Roys, the Dan Crenshaws, the Ted Cruzes, the Thomas Masseys, the Rand Pauls, all of these people that you vote for are the ones that are implementing and passing the laws. Pam Bondi is the attorney general. She's just going to enforce the laws that are in place. So there's kind of this method of misconstruing or blaming people. Now, is this a good pick by Donald Trump for Pam Bondi? That will only come out in the wash. Only time will tell. But yesterday on Capitol Hill, in a bit of a back and forth, a little bit of crossfire, Pam Bondi revealed something that made me a little uncomfortable with her as Attorney General.
In the wake of the Parkland shooting in 2018, you expressed support for certain gun control measures in Florida, including raising the minimum age for firearm purchases and implementing red flag laws, which I agree with, I support.
Of course
they're
he
proven
does.
to make a difference and to save lives. How would you use the position of Attorney General to advance these common sense gun safety policies on a national level?
First, Senator, let me say I am pro-Second Amendment. I have always been pro-Second Amendment.
In public.
I will follow the laws of my state of Florida and our country, of course, regarding any gun laws.
I would certainly hope so. But any specific ideas that you have on advancing the common sense gun safety proposals that you support as you were Attorney General? I gave you two examples: raising the minimum age for firearm purchases or implementing red flag laws. There's, I think, a growing national consensus on universal background checks.
I would be glad to meet with you and review any legislation that you have, Senator.
So she would be glad to meet with him in private and go over any legislation that they may have. Raising the age of consent, the age of purchase for firearms to 21 really violates a lot of things that I believe in. There are a lot of people in Congress and Senate that are sending people to war to go fight in other countries with guns that are under the age of 21. So if you raise the age of consent to buy a firearm to 21 years old, at the same time, are you going to raise the age to join the military to 21 years old? Because if you go in the military at 18 and then you're issued a firearm, are you violating a law that is implemented? Are you violating a constitutional law that they're trying to pass? Is the government introducing its own level of hypocrisy and redundancy? That's the question I have. More importantly, why does Pam Bondi want to meet with a Democrat senator privately to discuss something that affects all of you? Why not have that in an open forum, in an open debate? The Attorney General does not create law, but she enforces it. And the people that she wants to meet with privately are the ones that create the laws. That's my stance on Pam Bondi. Now, I'm going to show you another clip here that's a little telling as well.
It's a fundamental right. It is our right to bear arms and to defend ourselves. You know, Pete, when I was a young prosecutor, way before I was Attorney General, I was in my early 20s. I had a stalker for years. I don't talk about it a lot, but I learned to shoot from law enforcement. They taught me to shoot because I didn't have the luxuries that Hillary Clinton has, that Joe Biden has, of full-time protection. And I had to learn to shoot a gun to protect myself. But I deserve the right to protect myself, as do all Americans in their homes, to be safe. And that's what the Second Amendment says.
Astonishing that you, Pam Bondi, want to be able to protect yourself. But you, Pam Bondi, speak out of the other side of your mouth and want to come for certain people's firearms.